Alrighty, so here's my 2016 Super Tenere. Thought I would do a Farkle vid. Just stuff I've added on. This is kind of, I was just about to put the bike away and I remembered I was going to do this and post it. I did a kind of an owner review on this about a month and a half ago, and kind of thought I would mention I might do a Farkle kind of a add-on stuff, and a couple people thought, yeah, that I'd like to see that. So anyway, I thought I would do it. I have a bit of a list of stuff that I did to it. I know with different bikes over the years I've made the mistake of buying the bike and then picking away getting things, and when I bought this bike I thought, no, I want everything I want it now. So anyway, I loaded up the credit card and everything went reasonably good. I was pretty particular on fit, finish, and practicality of it, like the things that I picked. It's got to work. Obviously, it's got to work, and I was budget conscious, but I've also learned over the years that if I don't want to pay $500 for something, there's no point in me spending $100 on something that's probably, hopefully, going to be just as good, and be disappointed by something else that's $100 or $150 and go, that's really not what I want. So ultimately, you end up spending more money than, or me anyway. So anyway, I got everything I wanted for this, and no regrets. I don't think anyway. But anyway, kind of starting at the front and working my way back. Maybe that's how I made my list. I get the Alt-Rider fork guards, lower fork guards, obviously just to keep stone pits off the tubes and that kind of thing. Working my way back, I get the Hepco and Becker crash bars. There's a lower set, and then there's the upper portion of it. You can see at the fog light there where the joint is. Body work on this is pretty expensive, and it's not that I expect to drop it, but I expect to use it. And anyway, this thing definitely takes two people, but that's actually the windshield that's making that squeaky sound. The headlight grill, just keeping stones and shit. I think if I was to do it again, I would probably get the clear Lexan. You can still get stones through there. I thought in the picture the mesh looked like it might have been a little bit tighter. So I think for around the same price, I would probably get the clear Lexan one next time. What else we got? Fog lights. I wired them up to a relay to the high beam from the stock headlight, and I probably went a little overkill with the fog lights. Now they're not Denali or anything super high end. I did buy them from an automotive store. I didn't. Ultimately it all comes from China anyway, right? But anyway, they do light up ahead of me pretty damn good. Next on the list, what do we got? Fuse block, $10. Oh, that thing. Yeah, this time around, and I highly suggest if you how can I put this? Underneath the right side cover, there's plenty of room to put, well, I shouldn't say plenty, but there's room to put, stuff. So other bikes I've had, you put up your wiring for your fog lights, you use the switch that comes with it probably, and the fuse that comes with it or whatever. Anyway, I mounted a fuse block underneath here. It's just a cheap one. It's run by a relay, which I jumped the auxiliary light. I don't know if you can see the wire in there. So I turn the key on, it powers the outlet. Well, that's the wire that trips my turns the relay on, which lights up the fuse box. So anything I want to take on or off, I go right to the one spot. I don't have a fuse for my fog lights under here, and I don't have a fuse for my tank bag over there, and everything's in one spot. Kappa Windscreen. It's a little bit higher than the stock one. It's actually quite a bit higher than the stock one, and that's at the lowest setting. What else do I got here? Run from my fuse block. I did run a wire underneath the seat, so it powers my tank bag. This is like the only tank bag I've ever seen that doesn't have a port for shoving your wire through. So I just did this temporarily, but I don't really have any trouble with it, so I just decided to leave it. If that's for my vest, that's direct to battery, or my jacket, the heated jacket. So just in here, for example, run the wire in and just kind of buried it under there, and I've got a 312 volt. I got a super deal on the Zumo 660 before they discontinued them. I got one of the old stocks, and they normally come around here around $1,200, and I got that kit with the RAM mounts and everything for like $3.99. So I really scored on that. I really got lucky with that. Waterproof, dustproof. Anyway, that was good. I mentioned in my owner review about a voltmeter. Didn't have one, so I just bought one off Amazon, and whatever, 15-20 bucks, and there's not even a hiccup in it of a warning for when I got all my shit turned on. So anyway, it's just a good peace of mind to know that I'm not going to end up with a dead battery like I did with the KLR. It barely has a charging system on it. You turn on your fog lights, heated grips, and that's what happened to me. Is I stopped for a pee and got back on the bike, and I had a dead battery. So voltmeter, get heated grips on there, the Oxford ones. I don't like this. It's the new style. You can't turn it off. It's got some kind of vibration sensor in it that turns off if it doesn't sense the motor. Whatever. I still run it through the fuse block, so when I shut the bike off, it's off. And they work pretty good too. Heated grips, mirror extensions, just to get the mirror out a little bit past my shoulder. The shape's right, but it just wasn't out far enough for me, so I spun these up in the lathe. Nothing fancy, but piece of steel and some threading and a lathe and a little bit of spray paint. Mirror extension, Saddleman. There's me Saddleman Seat. Paid $500 for it, and it's not really impressing me that much. I threw an Airhawk R on with on that last trip, and I maybe the two of them, but I didn't have any sore ass problems with other than sitting for 10 days or whatever it was. That's going to be hard on everything after a while. But yep, get the Saddleman Seat. What else on the list here? Replace the OEM cases with the Trekkers. Now I did figure. So anyway, these things are actually pretty awesome. Work out pretty good for me. They're these are the 48 liters. Super tea bag. I wanted to buy those before they get discontinued. That fits the factory case. Actually, it does fit the factory case. It's supposed to, but it's like a weird shape, and it just doesn't want to fit it right. But anyway, simple. Turn it. You can hook or unhook these and take the lid right off if you wanted. And to get them off the bike, pull to remove, just turn the key, and yeah, I'm not going to do it with one hand, but you just give that a tug, it releases, got the green in the green, and they back off. they turn red, so now you know you're clicked in. So anyway, seems to be a fairly decent system. Don't have any complaints with it actually at all. Grab my list here again. Yeah, I've got the GPS. Everything on this runs through that fuse block, which is yeah, so I shut the key off, everything's off. It's all through relays. So yeah, you can probably hear a little bit of motor noise. That's actually pretty quiet. Now I've got the microphone turned pointing at me, so it shouldn't sound like stupid loud, but it's got a nice sound to it anyway. Confusing demonstration. So I was saying I got it wired to the high beam and low beam. I just found the wire down by the fuse box that activates the shutter and just tied into that. So that's how I ended up doing that. So I imagine this is probably a 15-minute video by now, so maybe I'll snip a few of the pieces out, shorten it down a little bit. I like informative videos, but not ones that take forever. The